Vance Joy, the last time we chatted with Vance was at Live 105's Not So Silent Night show. He was about to head off on some sort of a massive tour with a Taylor Swift, and now they're in the middle of that thing. And Vance, we tried to warn you what you'd be getting yourself into, but now that you've been a part of this, have you found there's been a ton of underage marriage proposals thrown in your direction?
No. Well, I think I've played to a lot of people, and there's been a lot more young girls at the shows, obviously, that I'm used to, and they're a great audience and super enthusiastic. So I hope I've recruited some of them, and I guess judging by some of the signs, like sometimes it shows there's a sign, and sometimes they have my face superimposed on things, and so if that's an indicator of a growing fan base of that group, then it must be happening.
Now, middle school screams are much higher pitched and much more alarming than adult screams. Yeah. Do you feel like you've gotten any hearing damage?
It does. Well, it took a moment to get used to it, and when I first heard the crowd at the first show, I was like, whoa, like I just didn't know this kind of thing happened. Like, I mean, I've watched like Beatles documentaries, but it's different when you're actually there. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so loud, and sometimes in the shows she like raises her arms and gets the crowd to, and it's like whoa.
Everything gets taken up an octave.
It's like crazy. It's like 211, you know.
You should steal that move since you're on the stage before her. You should steal the crowd move.
She'll have nothing to do.
Yeah, she'll be like, damn it, Vance.
Well, it's like the decibels on my one is like, and it's like, yeah, and then Taylor Swift's just like deafening. So
right.
I might steal the move, but it might not work.
Yeah, does it feel like, I was going to say, because you're obviously very successful, and it's actually rare. I can't think of a song that we've been playing as consistently as we have Riptide on Live 105, in the year that we've been doing the show. But like, for all intensive purposes, you're a success, a big success. But then when you're involved in the whole Taylor Swift phenomenon machine, does it make you do you go like, man, I'm a failure?
Yeah.
Do you have that moment where you're like, Jesus?
Well, it's definitely, it's a different world, and it puts things in context a bit, puts your own ego in check when you go, hey, look, maybe I played to 2,000 people, but this is like 60,000 people. So in that way, all it is for me is like I'm seeing Taylor Swift perform. I'm seeing someone who is at the top of their game, goes hardcore for 2 hours singing and gives everything. And so I'm just like, whoa, this is an intense performance. And so I guess to be on that stage, you have to kind of bring it. And so I've found that my performance has kind of lifted a couple of gears.
When I think about that music, I think that's really catchy. It stays in your head forever. As hard as you may try, there's no avoiding Taylor Swift songs because they play them pretty much everywhere. And I'm not around it. You now have been a part of this. I don't even know how many concerts it's been at this point. You must have every lyric memorized of every song.
Yeah, I do. It's good. That's a good point. That does happen. So I knew that it was going to happen because I was warned.
You were ready.
I was warned and I was prepared, and my manager was like, this is what's going to happen. And then, those songs are embedded for a long time, and I guess forever. And I've seen the show a lot of times. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I mean, the songs are there. I'm happy for them to be there. I might need to just not listen to Taylor Swift for a while after the thing. It's kind of hard to do. It's hard to do. It's kind of hard to avoid. So
yeah, I don't think you should take that personally. I guess.
Yeah. Have you and Taylor done any backstage bonding? Like you guys play Legos before every show or anything like that?
No Legos, but more like after the shows. I mean, at Pittsburgh, I was hanging out with her, and she had us all. She had everyone backstage, and it was a country band called Little Big Town, and they'd been on stage that night, and everyone hung out, kind of like kumbaya kind of vibe, and played guitar, which I have never done before. But it's kind of like the perfect thing after you have a good show. It's kind of a way of kind of keeping the music going and keeping, I don't know, the energy up. So
you've performed, you got paid a lot of money, you go on stage in front of lots of people. Now you can do whatever you want, and you choose to sit around and play music.
You sit around and
that's unbelievable.
What is that, like passion or something for your craft?
What do you call it? That'd be like Allie and I talking after the show every day.
The worst.
Sounds horrible. We got into an interesting debate on the show recently about Vegamite. And since you're an actual Australian, unlike Deadeye's the fake Australian, we figured you could settle this.
Yeah.
Allie claims she put it in the category of being a jam, and we all told her she was an idiot. Now I can tell by your reaction that clearly you agree. Oh, look.
He's backing away from me.
No, I'm not. I'm just that this even came up. I was like, I like that. This is you've delved into the subject that deeply to get to that.
Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't talk about this.
Well, we were talking about it because we were reading that the Australian government wants people to sell it less because people are making moonshine out of it.
Really?
Yeah.
my
And then
God.
I said that Vegemite is sort of like a jam, and that's why we started getting into a debate about it. The U.S. equivalent of that would probably be a jam. I don't know what other category it would go into.
Clearly, this is idiotic, and the more she says it, you have to agree, right? I mean, come on, you can say, I know you don't want to offend her, but you can. That's really the goal of the show.
Well, I've never really thought of it, and I kind of like it's out of left field. Jam and Vegemite. So as you guys know, it's yeast extract, whatever that is. I don't know what that is. But what can you even compare it to? What's the closest concept?
Well, upon further discussion, we were thinking Nutella would probably be a better comparison.
Yeah, and look, there's some consistencies, but really, Vegemite is like such a random thing. Like I know that they have Marmite, they have this thing called Promite, and all these things with a mite. It's a mite. I think that...
But we don't have mites.
I know. You get,
The termite family.
Yeah, it's from the termites. It's like a mite. I don't know what a mite is.
I don't know what that
it's a
means,
different.
though.
It can't be in the Venn diagram. It has to be exclusive. It's a circle unto itself.
So officially, it is not a jam.
Look, I don't know if I'm qualified.
I think you sure are. I think the accent makes you qualified, my friend.
I like Ali's jam idea, but I'm going to have to say it's a mite, not a jam.
All right, official word now has been given. Allie, you are now fired.
Oh, all right.
Sorry,
Well, it's been
Alan.
real.
That was a serious
Extreme,
You didn't
very
realize
extreme
the
response.
stakes here, Vance Joy, but they were pretty strong, and
You should have warned me.
cost Allie her job. Now, you've never gotten drunk off Vegemite before, though.
Yeah, I didn't know this was happening either. I'm glad that people are doing this important research.
Yeah, turns out that's the way.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, always good to talk to you, and congrats on all the success. Show that will be in town. Who are you playing with again? I forget.
Taylor Swift.
That's right.
yeah.
Taylor Swift. That'll be it's in Santa. I don't even know what we're talking about. It's sold out. It's been sold out for a long time. On our show, we are searching for the best dad bod to win tickets. They will get to see you. These are tickets we couldn't even get. We had to steal them from another radio station to get our hands on them. But what do you think makes the best dad bod?
I just think it's a bit sloppy, but it's not too sloppy. You know, there's a cutoff point.
You have to be perfectly in the middle.
Yeah, a little bit of a
region.
muffin top, but nothing too extreme. A little bit of a paunchy kind of thing going on in the stomach, but nothing too. Yeah, as you say, it's got to be within limits.
The dad bod is almost like the Vegemite of the body. It doesn't really fit into a
It
category.
exists into its own thing.
You know it when you see it. Yeah, it's unmistakable.
Good talking to you, Vance Joy. Thanks, man.
Pleasure.